Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon and Descendant for the month of November. I hope you're well. Apologies for these readings being late, but there's something going on with your sign and there's something going on with Aquarius. And I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's it's making the readings chaotic. Like, there's no other way to really describe what's going on here, and it's interesting that it's affecting Aquarius as well, because Aquarius is your opposite sign in the zodiac. We're now on my 7th attempt with a 7th deck to do this reading. Like, there'll be a deck that says yes please use me, and then as soon as I start to pull cards it goes mute, and I don't really know how to explain that. It's been a weird weekend anyway. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that conversation that I was having with people, where there were some very weird things occurred on Friday. And I actually, to the degree that I actually had to reach out to the spiritual community to see if it was affecting anybody else, and thankfully it was, because I was questioning my sanity at one point there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this deck, and hopefully we're actually going to get a reading out of it. And then after that I'll do a Vimeo, and then after that I'll do Aquarius. That's the hope. Like I said, we're on attempt number 7. So could I have 3 cards for Leo, please? 3 cards for Leo for November. It's the first one. We've got the 3 of Wands. In your recent past. We've got the Ace of Wands in your current energy. Interestingly, that card's been, in fact both those cards have been coming up no matter what deck I've used. And what's coming towards Leo, please, for November? Whoa, what's that? The 7 of Cups. This is interesting because that's another card that's been coming up. Now, before I go any further, this week's going to be really, really intense. Like, depending on when you're watching this, I'm recording this on the 8th of November, I think, right? Starting from the 9th, stuff's going to get really, really weird, right? We've got the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction going on. We've also got Neptune being very active in the heavens, and Venus as well. And the 4 of them together, combined with the fact that Mars is going direct on Friday, I think, means that this is going to be intense, and it's going to be pretty weird. Now, I'm not an astrologer and I don't hold myself out to be, but from what I have seen from people who are more qualified than I to speak on this subject, Venus and Neptune dancing around together at this point means that there's illusion is strong at this point, right? And I found it interesting that on Friday I was literally doubting my own sanity just for a brief period of time, and we've got all of this coming in. It's going to feel like you can't trust your senses, right? The input from your eyes and your ears is going to tell you that things are one way, and it's going to be very easy to be misled on this. So if I was to offer any advice before I've even started pulling any clarifiers, it's use this energy, right? If you feel yourself really throwing all of your eggs into a basket, right? No matter what that basket is, it's possible that you are losing perspective this week, right? And so if I were to offer any advice at all, certainly this is how it feels to me at least, it would be try and keep yourself balanced, try and keep yourself measured, and look at what it is that you're hoping for, and what is that telling you about what it is that you don't have at the moment, right? I'm just going to leave it there, say it like that. We've got the 9 of Cups, interestingly, at the bottom of the deck here, you know. And I think an examination of what it is that you truly feel would fix things, right? This that you are investing heavily in emotionally, like, well, is it real? at the end of the day? Is it really real? because underneath that we've got the Hermit. Right? I've mentioned before this this notion that I had at the beginning of the Mars retrograde, which was that in order to see your way through this, it was important to strap yourself to what it is that you know, right? And so then that is about you and only you, right? Anything else that's going on outside of you, in the world, anywhere, at this point is a distraction, and keeping your focus inward and yourself measured, your emotional reactions measured, I think is really, really important. We'll see if the clarifiers bear that out. Why is the Three of Wands here, please? I've got the Ten of Pentacles and the Fool. Interesting. Aries energy. Mars is going erect. Then we've got the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands, please. With the Devil. This is interesting. This is a card that's come up again a number of times through the, abortive attempts that I've made to do these readings. Tell me about Ace of Wands. Oh, and Death. And Death has also come up as well. I feel like this is I shy away from using the word test. I don't like the word test, but there's something testing about this energy this week, and I think that it will be very, very easy to get swept up in something, right? Fuck, there's the Tower at the bottom of the deck, right? That's as I'm saying that, right? Tell me about the Seven of Cups. We've got the Six of Swords. Again, a card that's come out several times. Whoa. Oh, with the Hierophant in reverse and the Two of Cups. This is interesting. We've got the Ace of Cups followed by the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Now, I can feel the complexity of this before I even started talking about it. So, I'm not going to make this a US-centric reading because although most of my viewers are in the US, like about half of you are not. And whilst things that may be going on in the States may have a ripple effect out through the rest of the world, it's there is other stuff going on in other countries, right? And a lot of it is equally as important as what is happening there at the moment. So in your recent past, we've got the Three of Wands. Right, that's a card of the future. It's in some ways, right, where the Two of Wands is a kind of crossroads energy and you're making a decision on which way to go. The Three is when you start doing that, but it's with a plan, right? Your plan was from your Two of Wands energy. It's logistics, it's internal stuff. There's no movement, right? This is the activity. And generally it's a very positive card. But I notice here that there's some sort of, it looks like a tattooing ritual, something like that going on here. And there's a real tribalism depicted there, right? And the two cards that have come out to clarify are the Ten of Pentacles and the Fool. Now, the Ten of Pentacles is about commitment. It's about a full investment into something, right? And it's interesting that the message that came through before it even started pulling any clarifiers was watch out for putting all of you into one thing, right? Because absolutely, this week particularly, but also potentially for the rest of November, what is really obvious is that things aren't quite as they seem, right? There's something has shifted, and I don't bring my politics into this. I have no politics when it comes to my readings. It could be bigger, it could be something that's right in front of you, but the messages that were kind of coming before it descended into chaos from the other readings was that there was division and separation coming in, right? Really, really strongly. And it was asking you to check yourself before you threw yourself too wholeheartedly down one route in one direction, you know, because ultimately what's going on in the world at the moment isn't what's going on, right? We've got huge astrological and cosmological changes going on. We also know that this is not all that there is, right? This is a dense vibration that we are in right now, and we're here for something, right? I doubt very much whether it's as basic as what appears in front of us at the moment, right? We're talking about collective raising of consciousness. We're talking about collective ascension, and things, the old things, are going to start to crumble, right? Very, very soon. It's not one party over another. It's about the entire system now starting to fall over and collapse, right? And this is really important because at this point, descending into tribalism, right, is dangerous. I think it's really, really dangerous, actually. We need to remember that we're all here at this time together for a reason. And while the Fool is a positive card, it can talk about just walking off the edge of a cliff without really paying attention, right? It's about trust, absolutely. But sometimes investing your trust into something that isn't, worthy of it, possibly. I'll explain why I feel like this a bit later on, because there are a couple of cards that speak to this specifically. But again, I really want to push this point. Neptune is really, really active at the moment, right? So pull back, reserve judgment, just wait and see, because there's going to be a lot of things that come out in the next week or so. And it's going to have you doubting your own mind, I think. I genuinely do, right? So in your current energy, you've got the Ace of Wands, right? And it can feel like the consumption of the dark by the light, right? Particularly in this depiction here, right? You've got the full potentiality of the Wand suit there. You've got fire, right? It's right at the beginning of the Wand suit, and so we can associate it with Aries as the first fire sign, but also the first sign of the zodiac, right? Mars going direct on Friday is super, super important for Leos. And notice how much weight the dark is given against the light. The two things need to exist at this point, and one cannot fully consume the other and have us remain in balance, right? We're back to this notion of keeping things balanced, because we've got these two major arcana cards here, right? The Devil and Death. Now, if any of you have paid much attention to the astrology this year, like Saturn has been super, super important, right? It's been grinding around up there. Actually, if you've ever heard the noise that Saturn makes, you can go and Google it, right? It's on YouTube. They've recorded the sound of Saturn, and it's every bit as disturbing as you would think it is. And it's felt like, I've said this before, it's felt like a scythe kind of up and down the crown of my head all year. Okay? Saturn's power is starting to wane. Saturn's influence is starting to wane here, and we are on the cusp of Mars kicking out the old and bringing in the new, right? We also have Pluto, right? Though it be small, it may be mighty, right? The death energy is all about pulling out the old, right? And what we've got here is, the relentless march of death, clearing out the old. And what's he moving away from? He's moving away from the devil. Now, this could be wide, and it would be very, very easy to look outwards and see what's going on in the globe all over. God knows I've ranted enough about what's going on in the UK at the moment. And we know that all is not as it appears, right? Like The veil has felt very thin since Halloween, and it remains so. But so the veil of what is being sold to us is very, very thin too, right? People are seeing through it. The time isn't yet right to act, Leo. And if you've experienced, you know, the retrograde energy as strongly as I have, and I'm sure all the fire signs have found it really, really frustrating. You know, I'm expecting Aries to just take off vertically on Friday, all of them. Like that. But Leo and Sag won't be that far behind them either, because we've all felt the effects of this, right? It's been very frustrating. There's been this pent-up energy, this build. You know, for me, certainly, I felt like I was in a holding pattern for the last couple of weeks, particularly, right? I can't land yet. I can't do anything yet. I just got to hold myself where I am. And I feel like that's a fire sign thing at the moment. Things are about to change dramatically. And the reason why it's important for you not to put all of your eggs in one basket, why it's really important for you to be cognizant of the fact that there may be things globally or right in front of you that you are not seeing clearly yet, is because we've got a little bit of kind of wiggling around to do yet before the truth finally comes out, right? Whether this is in real relationships, or whether this is, you know, in any kind of situation that you find yourself in, you know, or your country or your planet altogether, right? The new is coming, and keeping your focus on you and maintaining your balance and maintaining your integrity at this point. Right? The Judgment card hasn't come out yet, but it came out a number of times in the other abortive attempts to read for you. And I think removing the possibility of you judging people as yet, because they don't have the answers either. I think most of you Leos actually probably see things much more clearly than a lot of other people do, but that does not mean that you are not immune at this point to having the wool pulled over your eyes in some ways. You know, I've had this quote going around in my head. It's from a prophecy, I think. I can't, honestly, I can't remember where I read it, but it was beware the rise of false prophets. And this feels spectacularly relevant right now. You know, don't put your faith in anyone or anything outside of you at this. Keep your energy close, pay attention. It's not time to act, right? Because what we've got coming towards you is the Seven of Cups again. It's more illusion, right? You don't know what is in these cups, and there's this dude here, and he's trying to sell you this cup, like, come and get this, right? It's really good, you really like it. But he's not letting you look in the cup. He's also not letting you look at the 6 other cups to see what are in those either, right? The possibility of you being sold snake oil at this point is rather large. Like I said, this could be nothing to do with politics, and I'd prefer it if it wasn't anything to do with politics. Take this as it resonates to you at the moment. What are you over emotionally investing in that's right in front of you? Or a bit further out, or a bit further still, right? Because it's every single aspect of your existence at the moment. Now, the 3 cards that came out here, you know, this is when we're starting to descend into slightly chaotic energy, although, bless it, it's kind of holding it together, it's trying. We've got the 6 of Swords, which is about moving away from something, right? And we notice as the direction of travel as these cards sit on my table is this way. We're going this way, right? We're not going back to this, whatever this represents. And this could represent, you know, toxicity and abuse of anything, abuse of power. Certainly in the UK, that's a thing, right? But it can also be moving away from the old Saturnian constructs, right? And I do believe that we are. And that's not just top-down government, although that is what Saturn and Capricorn represent. It's all of the structures that have been, you know, in place for hundreds of years. It's all wobbling. It's all about to come over. We're going to be moving away from it. And life as you understand it is going to be destabilized in the month of November. Now, I'm not trying to scare anyone. I don't want to do this, but you know, this is just, you know, very strong earth energy, right? So things are done slowly. There's no sudden movements. You know, we've got this kind of, these old creaking edifices of government, of, you know, the very way in which we are ruled, but also the very way in which we, you know, respond to society and our what we feel our responsibilities are to society, and then what they are to us, right? It's all about to get flipped upside down. Now, why it is that it's important for you to know about this, Leo, right, is a matter of conjecture, because this reading, in a way that none of the others have been at all, seems to be highly cautionary to you, right? And I've got a feeling that once I actually nail down Aquarius's reading, I feel like that's going to be the same too. So what we've got is Aquarius, you know, that's that is where we are headed to. Saturn's going into Aquarius. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah, right. And Aquarius is all about the humanitarian. It's very forward facing. It's very futuristic. It's looking at the horizon and seeing how much better that you know, life can be. It's about not leaving people behind. You know, it's about technology, the improvement and the betterment of everyone through the use of technology, right? Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there for a second. Right, I'm back. So there we've got Aquarius. And then we've got you, Leo, right? And the thing that's come through more than anything else this year for you is the get ready to lead, right? That over and over and over again has that come out. And it doesn't matter whether that is big leading or little leading, you know, whether that is your community around you, whether it is your family, whatever it is, right? There is going to be a point where you need to step up and you need to take charge. And for that to happen, it's really, really important that you don't get distracted at this point, right? Just as it's really important for Aquarius not to get distracted at this point, because it seems to me like you two are going to be working together, right? I'd be really, really interested to see if the Aquarius reading actually mirrors this one in some way. But I can't get past the fact that it has been very, very difficult to nail down the readings for both of you. And both of them are talking, well, no, actually, a bit, I haven't finished. I haven't fully completed the Aquarius one because I'm going to have to do it again. But what the themes that were coming through that were very, very similar, right? Don't get distracted. Don't over-invest in anything outside of yourself. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to the knowledge that you have, the wisdom that you hold, any kind of spiritual downloads that are coming to you at this time, right? Pay attention to them, because the information that's coming through your eyes and your ears at the moment is not something that can be trusted, right? Because shit's going south. It is. Shit is getting destabilized, and it has to in order that it be rebuilt, right? Now, somebody's going to have the vision to rebuild that, and that's Aquarius. Some people are going to have to, you know, be able to lead everybody out of the darkness, and Leo, that's you. And then we've got this Two of Cups. Now, it could be about starting small, one-to-one, the people in front of you, you know, that's possible. But it could be that what we're seeing now is a shift, you know, the importance of connections, your connections, the way that people are going to turn and look to you for advice and for guidance moving forward. Yeah. Yeah. We've got the Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck. That's emotional support, right? When I asked about the Two of Cups, what I got was this Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. Like, people are going to be confused. People are going to be suffering. People are going to be in lack. People are not going to know what's going on. And it's really important that you, Leo, know as best you can. We've got the Hanged Man turned up here, and that's really interesting because the High Priestess was coming out over and over and over again. It's this Piscean energy, so associated with Neptune, with that illusory thinking, sometimes daydreaming about things, you know, like fantasy, not seeing things as they are. But it's coming in here really strongly because I feel like you are, because that's the other card that's come out here, you are the one who is able to see things from a different perspective because you stopped yourself getting carried away with what was going on around you, right? In whatever respect that's occurring. And you're the one who is able to start anew, you know, with other people. Make a new start. This feels like quite a mad reading, if I'm honest. But this is the closest I've got to finishing a reading that I've done for you all fucking day, and it is like, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. So I'm going to roll with it, and I'm going to trust that for the Leos that see this, this is a message that they need and that they understand and that they are happy to receive. I'm going to go over to Vimeo and we're going to pull some more cards. We're going to look at what the fuck is going on because I just don't know. And then when I've done that, I'm going to try and do Aquarius. And like I said, I'll be really interested to see if that's coming up with similar sorts of themes, because it does seem to be that you two signs kind of being put on the side here and gone, you know, whatever happens, don't take your blindfold off just yet. You know, feels like that. Trust what is coming in here, what is coming in here, and nothing else, right? Fuck me, Leo. Right, know that I love you all very much. And I'll see you very soon for the mid-month readings, and hopefully there will be a bit more sense in there. All right, take care. See you soon.